The concept of algebraic structures is a foundation concept for the networking and cryptography, especially security and cryptography, not networking and cryptography, security and cryptography. So in cryptography, we have seen in the general discussion that there exists two categories of cryptography. One is public key cryptography and another is symmetric key cryptography. Symmetric key means the same key will be used for both the encryption and decryption. While coming to the public key or asymmetric key cryptography, for the encryption we will use one key, for decryption we will use another key. So that means once you go for the encryption, then how another key can be used for decryption? That means those encryption key and decryption key must have some similarity. Some must have some similarity. Otherwise, it is not possible to go for encryption and decryption. If I have given you a number, say 20, so it may be divisible by 5 or it may be divisible by 4. It may be divisible by 2 also. So that means some property should be there, some equal property should be there, so then only you can do it. So in the same way, here also, whenever you go for encryption, so how can you go for decryption with another key? So that means the encrypting key and decrypting key must fall under the same category. Okay. So once you understand the algebraic structure definition and its things, then you can easily come to know why this property should hold. So let's see what are the things that we will study in this course, in this particular module especially. Instead of going in a presentation way, just I'm going to give you a notes kind of thing. So if you can remember these points, so then it will be easy for you to go through the slides of this particular lecture. So you can make note of this. So first of all, we are going to see the algebraic structures. Algebraic structure is nothing but we are going to consider a set and also some operator. We are going to consider a set. So far we have seen the module 1, 2, 3 set operations, okay, and the enhancement of sets. All these things we have seen in the module 1, 2, and 3. Now what we are going to do is we are going to consider a set. Okay. So this particular algebraic structure, it is a combination of a set and an operator, a set and an operator, so that the operator or the operations, we can say, the operations using the operator on the elements of set using the operators on the elements of set is said to be the algebraic structure. That means the algebraic structure means you have taken a set and some operator. You may take any operator of your choice, either it may be a addition operation, multiplication operation, division, whatever the thing. It may be any binary operation that is of your choice. So that operation and performing operations using that operator on the elements of the set. If you combine these two, then it is said to be the algebraic structure. So the algebraic structure is the combination of the set and the operations that are applied on the elements of the set. So here we are going to see the various algebraic structures, such as first we are going to see the concept of groups and subgroups. All these are the algebraic structures. Semi-groups, groups, subgroups, semi-groups, and abelian groups, cyclic groups, and we are going to see the cosets, fields, rings. So these are the concepts which are under these algebraic structures. Understood? So algebraic structure means a combination of, it's a combination of set and some operator. That operator is used to perform operations on the elements available in the set. Here are some various algebraic structures. The first one is groups, second one is subgroups, semi-groups, abelian groups, cyclic groups, cosets, fields, and rings. Here, whatever operator we are going to say, operator, this is a binary operation. So when can you say it's a binary operator? So it has the properties. What are the properties it is having? The first property is commutative. The first property is commutative property. The commutative property is nothing but if there exists two elements A comma B that belongs to set S, then A operator B is equal to B operator A. Okay, this is what is called commutative property. The next property of the binary operation or operator is associative property. So let A comma B comma C belongs to a set S, then so A operator B operator C is equal to A operator B operator A operator C. Sorry. A operator B operator C. So this is what is called associative property. So A operator B operator C is equal to A operator B operator C. Next one is operator is same. A plus B plus C is equal to A plus B plus C. Next one is distributive. Distributive property, let A B C belongs to S, and there are two operators, operator 1 and operator 2. Then the distributive law says A operator 1 B operator 2 C is the distributive law we have seen. So these are the operators properties. what are the binary operator you have considered? The binary operator property is this: commutative, associative, and distributive. Now, having understand this operator, let will go for the group. So a group is what? So a group, it is a set of elements with an operator. So it is just like the algebraic structure, a set and an operator. In the same way, group is also having a set and a binary operator. So the operator may be any operator of your choice. You say, for example, I'm saying dollar. Means you can generalize this because this is a mathematical generalization. You can take whatever the operator you want. Just I'm taking it as, for the writing purpose, I have considered as dollar like that. That satisfies the properties the closure, the associative, or you can say first one is association, that is associative. Next one is closure. Third one is identity. Fourth one is inverse. So associative you are aware of. Closure means if A comma B belong to S, a set S, then C is equal to A operator B. So the resultant C should also fall under the same set. This is called closure property. Identity is nothing but if there exists an element A that is belong to S, and there exists an identical element or identity element E, say for example, such that A operator E is equal to E operator A. So a matrix with identity matrix, just like that. So an element with an identity element. Next, inverse. Let A is an element that belongs to S. Then A operator A inverse. To indicate inverse, I am writing like this: A inverse is equal to A inverse operator A. Right? So this is the inverse property. That means group, it is a set of elements with an operator, so and so operator, whatever the operator is there, that satisfies the property associative, closure, identity, and inverse. Okay. Along with these properties, that is group properties, plus if a group with an operator, so and so operator, satisfies these four properties, along with these properties, if it also satisfies the commutative property, okay, is equal to abelian group. Okay, abelian group. And this abelian group is also called as commutative group. Clear? So first we have seen what is algebraic structure. So algebraic structure means set with some operators, with an operator, and the various with that operator will perform various operations on the elements of the set. Then we have seen what type of operator it is. It is a binary operator. So binary operator means when you can call it as a binary operator. So the binary operator is having the property like this. Okay, commutative, associative, and distributive. So having understand this, we have gone for group. Group is a set, comma, operator with the satisfaction of the satisfying of the properties such as associative, closure, identity, inverse. Along with these four, if you add commutative property, that means if a group satisfies commutative property with the binary operator, then that particular group is said to be the abelian group. So we'll come across this abelian group in the cryptography. Right? So what is the commutative property? A operator B is equal to B operator A. That means if you have been given two keys, one is public key, one is private key. Okay. If you encrypt using public key, then you should also in a position to decrypt using private key. Clear? Have you got the understanding of where these particular groups are used? So we'll choose the algebraic structures in such a way that these properties are satisfied. So using those algebraic structures, we'll try to we'll try to generate the keys. So either it may be the prime factoring, either it may be the curve equations. Okay. So out of this curve equation, for example, best equation is elliptic curve equations, hyperelliptic curve equations, not ellipse, it is elliptic curve. So these are the curve equations which, if you perform the operations on the curve equation, then it will form the abelian group. So from such kind of equations, you are going to consider, especially to have various public key algorithms. Clear? So this is the foundation for understanding the cryptography concepts. So now we have understand the abelian group. Then the semi-group. Semi-group is nothing but it is a set S or a set S is said to be semi-group. When it is said to be semi-group, the operator chosen will satisfy the group property and is it audible? Okay. A set S is said to be semi-group if the operator is associative on the set S. Clear? So this is said to be the semi-group. Now I want to restrict the algebraic structure, a non-empty set G equipped with one or more binary operators is called an algebraic structure or algebraic system. So n comma plus, okay, natural numbers over with the plus, okay, q comma minus, okay, r comma plus, all the algebraic structures. So binary operator on the set. So binary operator will be having the properties such as the commutative, associative, and distributive, right? So, but whether this operation is common to every element, to every group, no, it will vary from group to group, set to set. For example, our usual addition plus is a binary operator on real numbers. It is a real number, on real numbers it is, but on matrices, on matrix operation, okay, sometimes the dimensions may be different. For example, 2 into 3 by plus 3 into 3 matrix, okay, or 3 by 4 matrix. Then this is not, it cannot form the binary operation with plus, right? So that also you should consider in this. So here for A comma B belongs to S, A plus B also belong to S. So these are the properties we have seen. Okay, A comma B belongs to S, A dot B. You take whatever the operator you want, okay, dot, plus, like that. So this is said to be the closure property of the binary operation and the set S operation. So closure property, associative property, okay, and identity and inverse property. Okay, if you have these 4 properties, then it is a group. So commutative, associative, distributive, these are the binary properties, binary operator properties. And here some examples are given for every property, that is commutative, associative, these properties. So n is the set of natural numbers, plus, comma, dot, or the binary operations in n. Since A comma B belongs to n and A plus B also belongs to n, and A dot A multiplication B or A dot B also belongs to n. A is a set of even integers, then plus, comma, dot are the binary operators in A. Since for A comma B belongs to A plus B also belongs to A. While coming to the commutative, associative property, here associative property and distributive property. So here in the distributive property, you will be having 2 operators in S, okay. So A plus, sorry, here A dot B plus C is equal to A dot B plus A dot C. Let S be the non-empty set, and the operator, some operator they have chosen, be an operation on S defined by A operator B is equal to A for A comma B belongs to S. Determine whether the operator is commutative and associative. So obviously A operator B is equal to A. That means if you perform the operation with any element, okay, always you will get the first element only. That is A operator B is equal to A. If I say A operator C, then you will get A only. If I say C operator A, then you will get C. Whatever is the first operand is there, that operand you will get if you perform the operation. Since A operator B is equal to A for A comma B belongs to S, and B operator A is equal to B, okay. So that means that may be some operator, you don't know what is operator, but if you perform that operation, always you will get the first operand. That is what the meaning of that. So that operator is not commutative in S, because if you perform A operator B is equal to B operator A, then it is commutative. Since A operator B operator C is equal to A operator C is equal to A, so, and A operator of B operator C is equal to A operator B operator C, B is equal to A, so it is associative. So this type of property, okay, if this kind of operator if you have used, then it is not commutative but associative. Like that, you are supposed to observe the operator property, operator behavior. They will give some example. If they have given him directly that it is a natural addition or multiplication or something, that you can do normally. Okay, but the nature of the property or nature of the derivation, we can say, if you look at here, A operator B is equal to A. If this kind of example were given, you have to take in the same way. Okay, for checking whether it is commutative or associative or thing. So here is another example. Now A comma B belongs to Z. Listen carefully. A comma B belongs to Z. We have A plus B belongs to Z. AB also belongs to Z. And A plus B minus AB also belongs to Z. Now they have given the derivation like this. A operator B is equal to, it will give you like A plus B minus AB. This is the result you will get if you perform A operation using operator B. A operator B. If you perform operation, then you will get the result like this. A plus B minus AB. Now, check whether it is associative or commutative. So first you will check for associative. Associative means A operator B within the brackets operator C. Now the A operator B you are already aware of. What is that A operator B? They have given in the example. What is that? A operator B will give you what? A plus B minus AB. A plus B minus AB. So this is going to be fall under A, this one. Now this entire term you consider as some element. This entire term you are supposed to consider as an element. Now that element operator C. Now again, what type of equation you will get? A plus B minus AB type. Let for example, this entire operator, this entire operation A plus B minus AB is considered as X. Now X operation C is equal to X plus C minus XC. Clear? X plus C minus XC. Wherever X is there, substitute the original equation. A plus B minus AC. Elaborate it. Okay? Just to expand the equation. So what you will get? A plus B minus AB plus C minus AB. This one, A plus B minus AB plus C minus AC minus BC plus ABC. Same thing in reverse you do it. Do you got the same equation? A plus B minus AB plus C minus AC minus BC plus ABC. So it is associative as well as commutative. Clear? So you have to observe the initial condition. Initially, what operator is doing. You don't know what is the operator, but they have used some operator of their own, and they are giving that if you use this operator, you will get the operation. If you perform operation with this operator, you will get this equation. That's all. Clear? So I hope you understood up to here. We'll see rest of the things in the next lecture.